talking about an England international who once we thought was going to have the right wing position sewn up or the left wing position sewn up. Jadon Sancho doesn't get a look. He's not even considered, is he? He's just not in this conversation at all.
It's a weird one. I feel that last season, Ten Hag put an arm around him, gave him big minutes. I remember in the FA Cup final. And then he's done the opposite and tried to kind of get him going in the press. And I think Ten Hag has the right to do that. This guy's a 75 million quid asset. His statistics for a player of his age, better than Messi and Ronaldo, under 20. I'm talking for Dortmund. Come out of the City Academy, of course. He's been shocking. He's been absolutely shocking. His work rate is poor. He looks slow. He looks sluggish. Doesn't look fully fit all the time. So the Sancho situation at Man United is massive because it's a 75 million quid hole burning in their squad that they thought they'd filled up a couple of years ago. It takes United back another step.
Where do you sit on the argument, the public spat, the episode of Towie that is currently being played out at Carrington, where Erik Ten Hag, I don't think he said anything too provocative about Sancho. Sancho then decided to tweet suggesting that he was a scapegoat. He is a scapegoat for other things going on at Manchester United. Like his disciplinary issues over his whole career. There were things at City. I know timekeeping at Dortmund was just ridiculous. Do you think Sancho has a right to defend himself? Do you think Sancho has a right to say this isn't the case? Or do you think Ten Hag... Mate, overall, I don't even know where I sit on it. I was trying to work out my opinion. I don't actually know.
I think I'm similar to you. I think it's a mixed bag. I don't think Sancho should come out and defend himself against the manager. The manager is the hierarchy. He's top of it.
But then should the manager not say anything publicly himself?
But that's an issue as well, because I don't think Ten Hag's got the reputation yet to justify calling out players that... Look, at the end of the day, Ten Hag's in a FA Cup final against arch rivals Man City. It's arguably one of the biggest games of his managerial career.
Of course it is.
Not been to a Champions League final.
You've got to throw in the treble conversation as well
against
here.
Guardiola, someone he previously worked with, a bit of an idol for him. He plays Sancho in that game. So it's not like... he asked Sancho to do something for him on the pitch. Obviously, Sancho didn't perform. So it's not like he's got the credit in the bank for me to be slagging off people that he'll need this season. Do you know what I mean? He needs Sancho to work.
Let's just explore this then, because I think this is interesting.
This video is brought to you by Super 6. Every week, all you have to do is correctly predict 6 football results. That's so easy, by the way, lads. For £250,000. And a beautiful little bonus. If you come top of our mini league, Club 23 on the Super 6 app, you get the chance to win £100 at classicfootballshirts.co.uk. I'm going to get Sean Gerter on the back of my classic Man City kit in no time. Make sure you click the link down below and check it out.
As a manager... I think that, firstly, as a manager, just your status, you are correct. There are certain situations where it isn't about a to and fro. It isn't about, well, he said this and she said that or whatever it is. Sometimes someone is allowed to say something about you and you are not allowed to say something back. I know that goes against the modern world and modern ethics, but that's life. So, for example, everybody knows I didn't like Mauricio Sarri at Chelsea. Didn't like him, never wanted him at the club, really didn't like the way that he approached himself. Tramp, right? However, Mauricio Sarri had an argument with Kepa Arrizabalaga at Wembley against Man City. The office of Chelsea manager, it's not about Sarri, the office of manager is correct. The office is backed over the player. The player has no other option, in my opinion, other than to respect the word of the manager.
Paid, get off the pitch.
It would be on, for example, I'd agree with it in my own life. We have a producer of this show. So I mean this with all severity. If that producer tells us to do something, I will do it. It's the responsibility of us to be told what to do. Whether we disagree or not is different. There are different rules. It's not, a producer doesn't have a say and then I have a say. It's the producer's say. It's the manager's say. So the manager coming out and saying, this is my thought on the situation, Sancho needs to do more. He can do that because that could be inspirational. If Sancho has a problem with it, which he's perfectly entitled to do, he needs to knock on a manager's door.
Yeah.
You don't tweet, whatever. This is a situation in life. Whatever's going on in your life, the answer to that is never, I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to tweet. I'm going to tweet. Whatever it is. This is in your public or personal life. Whatever is going on, the answer isn't, I know what I'll do, I'll tweet. No. Because you totally undermine yourself. And I think Jadon Sancho coming out and calling his manager out and acting like he's being scapegoated, suggesting that he's being scapegoated, when we know that the manager gave him that time off last year. The manager protected him. I just don't see how he plays for Man United again.
My issue is they don't have enough squad depth. I know Pellistri can play there. Garnacho maybe. I think he's better on the left. I think that'd be a waste of his talent. Rashford on the left as well. You're wasting players. Sancho might have to play. They've got Champions League football,
Can't play him.
League Cup football, FA Cup football. There's a lot of games. If United go deep, and whatever we say about United last season, they went to a lot of, they went deep last season. So they played a lot of football. That's why Sancho featured. It's a shame because he's so talented, but have we seen it?
Okay, that's interesting.
Have we seen it?
Is he? You said it, mate. I wouldn't have said it. You can't say he's so talented and then query it.
It's like saying Ravel Morrison was talented. He was undoubted.
Yeah, I suppose by that standard, but
is he closer to that? Maybe. But then I think there was a point I thought he was a world-class winger waiting to happen, and he definitely was in his final season at Dortmund. He was top 5 in his position in the world in terms of numbers.
So what on earth is going on?
He's just lazy, isn't he? He's lazy.
Do you think he gets it? Do you think it comes back? Do you think this entire situation resolves and Jadon Sancho goes on to have a flourishing career at Manchester United? Or when you think about the way that Erik ten Hag has acted about disciplinary issues, so think about Cristiano Ronaldo's an example here. Marcus Rashford's an example. Do you remember when Marcus Rashford was 1 minute late to a team meeting and he was dropped when they needed him against Wolves? Then he came on against Wolves.
Picked up his form as well around that
scored.
period.
Yeah. So it can be inspirational. See, there's an example of it being inspirational. Marcus Rashford was the best player at the club at the time. He was 1 minute late to a meeting and he got dropped. That's good because I think it happened to Garnacho as well on pre-season. So Erik ten Hag was effectively saying, look, I've done it to Garnacho, but I will do it to the best player in the team at the moment as well. Marcus Rashford dealt with it very well. He came on against Wolves and I think he scored 2 goals that day. One of them was disallowed, but he got the winner. Marcus Rashford did it, proved that you can use a public slight. Being dropped is a slight.
Yeah, to prove yourself. Yeah.
Jadon Sancho went crying on Twitter.
Yeah, he's not that guy, is he? Even the way he left City and people coming out from City and saying that he was late and Guardiola, as soon as he saw that, just got rid of him. Because obviously you can at that age, when you're 17, you've proven nothing. You can just get, the club can get rid of you. It's a shame because he's a footballer that I like to watch as well. It's not just about being a talented footballer in any position. He's a winger that was taking people on, nutmegging people, scoring great goals. But it seems to be going. I think he'll win the league, but he'll be in Turkey as opposed to the Premier League.
It's a slight, if ever I've heard one. What about the handling of this issue from, say, Ten Hag?
I think he's doing as much as he can. I think he's a very limited manager. I think his season last season was very overrated. I think they're still soft. I think they've got massive mindset issues. Maybe that's not his fault because of previous managers, previous institutions at Man United.
No. You can't do that.
Overrated.
This is like this gets political. I hate this. What you did there is, do you know what happens? The Labour government come in, they can't do anything, and they go, well, it's all the Tories who were in before. And then the Tories come in and go, well, we can't change anything because they messed it up before. At some point, someone has to take responsibility. So Ten Hag can't come in and go, well, it's Rangnick's fault. Been there a year.
But
it wasn't
the perfect.
No, I know, but that's why you're paid millions of pounds a year.
That's true.
That's the point.
That's true.
Of course, it's not perfect, but you can't come in and go, well, it's all. What can anyone do here? He's messed it up. So that kind of mentality I find annoying. The other thing is, he spent a lot of money, brought in a lot of his own players. A lot of his players have worked. I think Lisandro Martinez was a good signing.
Good, decent. It's closer to decent than great.
It's closer to decent than great.
5 in it, 5 out of 10.
But it's better than say Bailly or Maguire or whatever it's been.
Jones,
it's better than what it's been.
Yeah.
And it was also brave. It also got Maguire out of the team and off the captaincy and whatever. So I think that one was probably a success.
Ronaldo was a success, right?
Getting rid of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Well,
he seemed bigger than Ronaldo in that point.
That's interesting. The Ronaldo one at the time. Look, I feel like I should probably announce this now just before we talk about this because I really don't like Cristiano Ronaldo. The way that I heard him speak, the way that he's sort of spoken about Wayne Rooney and constantly talking about how handsome he is, I just think it's complete Burke.
Yeah.
Right? But would Manchester United, bearing in mind the goals that he scored, would Manchester United have been a better team if if Ten Hag had made it work?
No. Not for me. I think that was as close to the most perfect way of handling such a big player leaving such a big club as I've ever seen. So that's just my opinion.
No, it's interesting.
It went quickly, within a couple of weeks.
Would you have been more scared playing them in an FA Cup final if they had Cristiano Ronaldo up front?
Yeah, but then that's maybe a fault of United in terms of recruitment, and it's taken so long to get Højlund in, for example. That Højlund transfer, I think he looked decent against Arsenal, only 30-minute cameo. That it felt that should have happened the season before with Harry Kane, for example, and for obvious reasons with the ownership, they've not done that. So, yeah, I think the Sancho thing is just a big example of Man United being still a massive mess.
Yeah.
I love to see it.